Hi, friends. So, this is my two-piece outfit, a crow neck blouse and a short. Okay, so I really love this outfit because it can serve as a maternity outfit. Okay, you can rock it as a big auntie, you can rock it as a babe, like whichever means you want to rock it, it is good to go. Good to go. Let me just show you how I made it already. Let's go. Okay, so I took my measurements. Oh, sorry. First of all, you have to fold your material into two. Okay. Right now I'm measuring for the back piece first before you measure the front piece. So the width is 3.5 and the depth is 1.5. Sorry, it didn't show. I didn't know that what I was videoing at this time didn't show. So after marking that, the width to be 3.5, the depth 1.5, then you mark your shoulder measurement. You just mark it there. Mine is actually 8. So going down by 1 inch, I mark it and then connected from that the neck width to the slope there, as you can see there. Then I went down by 8 inches, which is my chest line. Okay, connecting that line to the chest point, okay, to meet that point there, as you can see. Now I'm measuring my chest measurement divided by 4. I marked it there. Going in again, measure it from your shoulder to your waist, mark it there, and then draw out the line. And again, repeat your waist measurement divided by 4. You mark it there. Okay. Now you take your hip measurement from your shoulder to your hip, you mark the line, and then repeat your hip measurement divided by 4. Okay, now going back to the shoulder. Okay, for us to get the armhole depth, you mark the mid between the shoulder and the chest line. Okay, and then you go in by half of an inch, just as you see, and then you just make a curve, just like that. I don't know if it's you grab. If you don't get it, you can just go back and then you get it. Now I am adding 2 inches for my seam allowance and ease. Okay, you can increase, you can add more or reduce if you want. Okay, so that is basically what I just did. And then the full length, I didn't tell you, the full length is actually 30 to 31 inches. Okay, then you add extra 1 inch for the folding. Okay, the seam allowance. Now to cut it, I forgot to do something around the shoulder, but then we would get to that part. Okay, now back to that shoulder area. There is no seam allowance. Okay, so I went up by 1 inch and then connected that before cutting, just like that. Now at the front, you just make a fold just like you did in the back measurement. Sorry to say, you just make a fold and then you place the back piece on the front piece, and then you give this extension just as you see here. Okay, make sure that from where you're having that extension, there's the back piece on top of it. Make sure that the extension is not more than 7 inches away from the starting line of that. I don't know how to really put it, but I don't know if you understand what I mean. The extension, the measurement from where this back piece is to the meeting line, make sure it's not more than 7 inches. If not, it will go down more. But if you want it to go down more, you can actually extend it more. But this is how I wanted mine to be. Okay, and then you just mark all through, just like that. You just mark it all the way through, and then you cut out. Okay. Now removing that back piece, opening up the front piece. If I should meet it up here, this is how it's gonna look like. It's just gonna look like this when I am stitching the outfit. Okay, so you have your crow neck effect. I know it's not really showing that much, but when I join the pieces together, you'd see the outcome. Okay, so we'll just move over to the sewing machine and get it stitched down. Okay, but before then, I had to get a facing that I'll use to turn the neck for both the back and the front. Now for the short piece, you have your waistline, that is the starting line, your hip line, the crotch line, and then the hemline, okay, which is where you want the shorts to stop. Okay, so now I am marking my hip measurement at the waist. Okay, repeat the same for the hip line. Sorry, there are some corrections I had to make. Measure your hip measurement at your waistline, and then repeat that same measurement for the hip line. Then you connect the line together. Now for the crotch area, I like to have mine to have extra three. Okay, three added to the hip measurement. My hip is actually 42, 41, 42 or so. So I like adding extra one to it. That is when I divide it by four. Okay. The reason is so you have this ease. But if you don't have so much butt, you can make yours to be 2 inches. Okay. Make yours to be 2 inches. But if you know you have big butt, just make it 3 inches extra or 3.5. Okay. Now I had to make corrections because the it didn't really mark the way I wanted it to. Then you connect all the lines together, just as you see. Now to get my thigh measurement, okay, how I want it to be, okay, I had to check the midpoint of my crotch area and then mark it down. Now my thigh measurement divided by 2, it gave me 13. So I marked 6.5 this way, 6.5 that way. And then going back to my waist, I marked my waist measurement divided by 4 and then connected the line together. If you don't understand, you can take it back and then you find your way. Now going down by half of an inch at the middle there, I connected that line to meet the um the waist area. After cutting that out, I placed it to get the back because this is actually the front piece. So getting the back piece, I just folded another piece together, then marked to just trace it basically, but this time you'd just mark 2 inches at the inner thigh area all through, just as you see in the video. Now the back of the waist, usually for your shorts not to be on your butt, you have to just go up. So I went up by 1.5 inch. Okay, just as you see, and then I connected it to meet the waistline. Now the crotch area, I still maintain 3 inches extra, but every other part is 2 inches. Okay, and then I connected it. Now the waist, the middle of the waist at the back, I don't know how to really put it. The middle of the waist at the back, you can see I didn't just go straight up. I had to slant it straight to meet that point at the waist. So after marking that, I have to get the measurement for um my zipper allowance. Okay, so you can go ahead and attach that. That is if you want a zipper to be attached to your shorts. I just inserted that because I might be needing that later. Okay, so not to be sorry, I had to just do that. So after doing that, you just cut it out and then you do all this joining just as you see in the video. Just connect it as you see, and then you open up the front piece. This is the front piece, and then the back piece. Okay, right side facing each other, of course. You see the joining. That is where you're going to do the joining. But first, you first join the crotch area all the way down. Then you join the sides. Okay, you join the sides. Then you measure the area around your waist. Then you get a facing. I use the material from the pieces I have left, because here I'm using just 2 yards for both the top and the shorts. So you just use it round, and then you have you use it to turn around the waist. Okay, then you do that of the hem, and that is basically all for the shorts. Now for the blouse, you can see I've already joined it already around the neck area. I've first of all done the facing, and then joined the shoulder area. Okay, so I'm just turning it out for you to see what it looks like. You can see it's already looking like the crow neck. Okay, so now you just first of all turn the the hem separately first. You don't want to first of all join the side before turning the hem. You first of all turn the hem for both sides, and then you close the sides. Okay. I'm sorry, where I inserted the drawstring didn't show. So please just pardon me. I'll just do a video of that later. But now this is the outcome of the finished look. Anybody can do this basically, because I am not a tailor. Yes, I'm not a tailor. I just happen to have this machine at my house, and then I decided to just go online, watch videos, and repeat prompts. And this is what I could come up with. How does it look?